Hello, and welcome to another episode of Scavenger Life. This is episode number 477, if you're keeping count, at scavengerlife.com.
Hello. Is this thing on? Hello. Summer is almost over, Ryan.
I know, that's so...
It's official. End of August. This is the last week of August. Summer is almost over. Those of us that have been in this game, this scavenger game for a while now, knows that means winter is coming.
Or just alive on Earth. No.
And that means through eBay is that it is now time to really start to list in earnest if you have not been doing that. Because the holiday season's coming, and typically that's a big buying season. However, because we live in this crazy world where just so many wacky things are happening, I don't know, is the 2020 holiday season going to be different because of the virus? Are people still going to be, spending a lot of money on Christmas gifts? And, it's hard to tell.
We don't know. Who knows?
If you were to start to list a lot, it would be good anyway.
You'd be ready anyway. Yep.
And so if someone didn't happen to buy this holiday, they would buy another time. So,
wow, encouraging words.
Yeah, right? I wanted to give people an update about our coffee shop that we're doing.
Yes.
Yeah. And, look, this is an eBay podcast, fine. But, we do other things other than eBay. But eBay is kind of like the foundation of our business. Pays for all of our bills, our mortgage, all that stuff. And lets us do other things like start a coffee shop in our local town. So we renovated this building.
Yes.
And we call it the Roaster Building.
Why is that?
Because there's a coffee roaster. Yes. And this is a large piece of machinery.
A large piece of machinery.
It does 30 pounds of coffee in 15 minutes.
It's big.
It's a giant thing. It was. I just won't go into it. It has been a fun, exciting, frustrating process trying to get this machine that we bought off of eBay, shipped from California.
eBay.
And it turned out that it was 10 years old.
Yes, 10 years old.
And,
which isn't very old for a roaster.
Right.
I mean, I've seen people roast on roasters that are
50
years old.
And, the thing, I don't know anything about this, right? So we're naive that way.
Yeah, good thing.
And thankfully, we have a buddy who is like he fixes cars, he just fixes stuff. And he's like, I don't know what this thing is. I was like, well, let's try to fix it. And so he actually learned how it worked. And things had been wires had been pulled and there were some broken pieces and he got it to work. So we did our first roast this week.
Yeah.
You and our roaster.
Yep.
How was it?
It was very, very successful.
Yeah.
We're roasting again tomorrow. We need to do some tweaks on we call it a roasting profile. But we didn't burn the beans.
Yeah.
And they roasted like beans should roast in the time we thought they would roast.
Right.
Right.
And Phil, who, I don't know, he may be hearing this.
Phil, are you out there?
So he is a roaster, the roaster.
The master.
And we're helping him. And so he has only worked on a smaller roaster. So this is his first time on a big one. And I was so surprised how he just took to it.
It's the same process.
He was like, I did it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
He's like, this is the same process, just a bigger roaster.
Yeah. And the whole point of having a coffee roaster, I think, is so we have control over the quality. And you can just get coffee a lot cheaper if you do it all yourself instead of buying it from somebody else that's already roasted.
And you have control over the quality, but you also have control over what you're roasting because there's so many different kinds of coffees. So you can, we picked some coffees that not a lot of people are roasting right now, and I'm super excited about it. I'm like, that is so amazing to be able to do that.
And so actually this coming weekend, so in 1 week from now, you and Phil are going to be taking a 4-day long
roasting class. Phil obviously
an expert
already knows what he's doing.
For people who want to commercially roast. So it's like learning how to roast, but also learning how to run a roasting business. Right.
Now, and again, Phil already runs a roasting business, but we're scaling up, and I also need to sort of learn a bunch of stuff at the same time with him. because I'm sort of the apprentice here.
Sort of. You are.
Brought that upon myself.
Yeah.
So it would be good. And also he's self-taught. Right. So there's some terms and ideas that he's like, I know what that is, but I don't know how to like change it or manipulate it. So it would be good to be able to.
And then I'm going along as support. I will be cooking dinners.
Yes.
I will be driving you to and from class.
Hopefully you will be scavenging for kitchen equipment in the area while we're in class for the roaster.
And that's also something we have been doing this past week.
Yes.
Here too. We've been buying commercial kitchen equipment on eBay.
For the cafe for the roaster building. Yep. And we've been scavenging stuff. Yeah.
I mean, I'm a little bit hesitant, like, was that a good idea to get, this kind of used stuff? Equipment. We'll see. But the good thing is we got a really good deal. It seems to be in good shape. It all works right now. And we found a local guy who fixes commercial equipment, so if it were to go wrong,
we're trying to clean it up and refurbish it too. A lot of it,
we got it so cheap compared to what you could buy.
I mean that's why we're buying it used, because if you go on webstranststore.com, I mean the prices for under counter refrigerators, you're like, how many thousands of dollars is it?
So good or bad, I think prices are cheaper just because places are going out of business.
Yeah,
and just creative destruction.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go into our week this week on eBay, ebay.com.
Yes.
It's a website where you can sell things.
I have a new helper. Did we mention that?
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
We did mention that we tried one guy.
Yeah.
It didn't work out.
Nope.
So we have our buddy, the guy that actually helped us
with the roaster.
His son is 16 and is looking for a job, and we gave him one.
Yeah.
How was it?
I mean, I feel much more comfortable around him because I know him and his family. So I feel more comfortable being like, this is what I need. And if he's not doing it, I feel comfortable being like, let's look at this together, which I kind of have to do.
I mean, I would go so far as to say it's night and day.
It's it's different. Now, it's for sure different working with young men than women. I feel like women, I mean, I'm not trying to be sexist here. I feel like women instinctively know what looks good in photos and to not put their feet in the photos and leave it there.
Right.
Stuff like that, you know? I'm like, your feet are in the photos, so that's unacceptable.
Like, the whole point is to take photos that don't have to get cropped.
Right,
you crop in camera, you know?
Most of it, I would say 75% is fine. But there's some things where I'm like, you got to remember to do this.
I will say that he is teachable, and that's the most important thing.
That's what it is. And anytime I've been like, I forgot to tell him where the trash and the recycling was. So his stuff was just on my desk, which is fine. But you're like, oh yeah, this is where it is. And then he'll always know that. Right. And that's already been the case where I'm like, this is where this is, so put it here. Right. And then that happens. I will say, this is like a side note about just generational stuff. I get a couple of emails about when we talked about this a week ago, how, we're saying that first guy who was 19 to 20, how he didn't work out. He just kind of wasn't really mentally showing up. Yeah. Whatever. And I got some emails, I think from some older gentlemen that were like, this is a generational problem. And I get it. It seems like it's a common thing, millennials, they don't want to work. I don't know. To me, I don't think it's a generational problem. I just think it's difference. It's like a personality. I mean, look, I'm Gen X. There are plenty of lazy people in my generation. Baby boomers. I know plenty of lazy baby boomers. I mean, I think it really just depends on how you grew up, your own perception of the world, or what your ambitions are, your personality is. I mean, I even have to say, when I was younger, there were jobs I had where I would have sworn to you I was a good worker. But now your boss, that I think about it, I'm like, you know what? I wasn't the kind of worker I would want now. I showed up, I did work, but my head wasn't in the game because I was
focus on other things in my life, and a job was just a way to make some money, and that's not the kind of person you want working for you,
right?
So anyway,
and it's not the kind of job it is either.
Right.
You're like, I expect this many things to get done in this particular way, and if it's not, I can't have you do it. Like, it's not like I'm going to give you a month to improve. It's like, it's got yes or no. Which is good for us because we can just figure it out quickly. But I'm pretty sure he's going to be fine. I just have a couple tweaks I need him to do.
Right. And then, this whole post office in the States drama, it's a big thing. And some of it's political. But, like I was saying on the forum, regardless of anyone's politics, it's an actual fact that mail is slower.
Yes.
So for whatever reason why that is, there is someone in charge of the post office, and he needs to make it work, just for business to run and people to get medicine. So, I mean, to me, it's all about just like the post office needs to work. And so make it work, And
right now it's an insanely critical time because so many people are depending on the post office to get things. Since a lot of people don't want to leave their houses.
And I think the story's been interesting, like for those of us that are in not urban areas, we're like in a rural area. Where many people are very conservative in rural areas. It's interesting. The post office is really, really important in these little small towns because the U.S. does often not have good internet, so the post office becomes very important. And there's a lot of older people in these country places too, and they get medicine in the mail, and the post office is often the place to go. It's kind of a community space, so it's interesting, this idea that the post office needs to only be like, it needs to be run like a business. It needs to be profitable. So that would mean don't have little post offices in the middle of nowhere. It would be a really weird country if places like ours were just kind of cut off from urban areas.
And the other thing too is, as a lot of eBay sellers know, FedEx and UPS can decide when they want to come to you or not. I've had several times where it's not convenient for them to come to our part of the county, and they will just call me on the phone because they have my phone number for pickup or for drop off, and they'll be like, "We're not coming today." Well, that doesn't work for my business, and it doesn't work for me personally.
I just really think it's just so strange that the post office became political, and it's, I guess the fundamental argument is, should the post office be run like a profitable business, or is it a service, a public service, just like the military? I mean, we don't expect the military to be profitable. We don't expect schools to be profitable. They're like a service that help society run. So
part of it too is like we've talked about before, the post office is expected to pre-fund a lot of the retirement benefits like 75 years in advance, and so they're in the red forever because of that.
It makes them seem a lot
they're like
more,
we made money, but we had to put it all there.
It makes them seem a lot more unprofitable. So anyway, if you're working for the post office, hats off to you. Thanks for what you do. Okay, that invoice amount on managed payments. I just want to kind of wrap up some of my confusion. So if you're on eBay and someone goes there right now, like I'm going right now to the managed payment, it's like under the payments tab.
There's a payments
on
tab.
Your seller hub. There's like two boxes. There's a total funds that tells you how much money that you made and how much is coming and pending and your payouts. Then on the right-hand side, it says invoice. And that's money that you still owe. And that's money that I guess is not coming from your payout. But there's nothing to click. So that's been my problem. It's just like, I look at it and every day, some days it goes up $2, some days it goes up $300. And I'm like, where's this money coming from? So we just got our latest invoice.
It's basically our first managed payment invoice.
Clicked on that, and that's where it kind of, it basically explains it to you. It shows you what you owe and what got took out of your managed payments.
Yeah.
And then it says what you owe that did not come out of your managed payments.
So what did not come out of managed payments?
Sure. So what doesn't come out of managed payments is our store subscription fees.
Okay, fine.
Which is significant. So we owe $300 a month for an Anchor store. Promotion fees.
So promoted listings.
Yep. And then shipping.
Right.
That is specifically the FedEx and then the eBay Send or International, and that's the DHL.
Right. So those are third party that you don't pay for through eBay.
Yeah.
Necessarily, sort of.
I kind of wish eBay just kind of...
Annoying.
I wish eBay made it just all managed payments. So take that $300 a month we owe for subscription and just like put it against the total funds. So even if I have to, allow me to carry a negative balance for a couple days or something so I can earn it back. Instead of like, I have to pay it separately. Anyway, it's
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, what control do we have?
I think this is a really good example of just how our life is on eBay. And just, I'm sure it's like this way Amazon or anything else. They make this change and we have to figure out kind of a new way of doing things. Yeah. So I'm having to figure out kind of a new way to handle our day-to-day finances. So I'm like, okay, where is this coming from? And this is going to get put on a credit card and this is going to get taken out of a bank account and I've got to make sure we have enough money everywhere and I'm paying stuff off. You know, it was different when we had PayPal because
we would just move money over in chunks.
Right, that money would just accrue and then like before the end of the month,
we just move it over.
We would move it all over and pay our mortgage. So
it's just, that's just what you have to do.
It's just reality. No one in this room is crying about it.
Don't cry about it.
Okay, so this week was slow.
So there was a day where nothing sold. Yep. That's how slow it was.
That was going to be the big headline.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. No, but you're right. There was
a day when nothing sold.
I cannot remember. It's probably been at least a year.
Yeah.
Last summer.
Yeah.
When we had a day when not one thing sold.
I mean, I woke up the next morning and I was like, I have nothing to pack, so I guess I'll just do something else.
And so we sold the same amount of items. 36 items. Because it was fairly slow the week before. Right. The difference is
higher dollar.
So last week our average selling price was like $51. This week it's about $34.
Yeah.
And you're like, that doesn't seem like that much.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, so this week we made $1,209.
That's not bad.
And 13 cents.
Not including shipping.
Not including shipping.
Yeah.
Okay. And last week we made, about $600 more.
Right.
And, for people like us, $600 is
a lot of money.
$600 is $600. So, but this feels traditionally like what summer is.
A day without a sale, you're like, yeah, it's summertime.
Yeah. I mean, so, things we sold, I guess because it's political season, the Democratic convention just happened. We sold this vintage LBJ poster.
He hasn't paid yet.
Will. He'll pay. So I'm assuming that sold because it's like
sure it's political. I feel like I've sold a couple other political things. I forget what they are.
I looked him up. I'm sure other people do this. I checked out his name.
Oh, the person. Oh, okay.
He's like a political guy in DC. So.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. He bought it on the weekend, so he'll probably pay on Monday. But and then we just sold just T-shirts and
random
cologne,
housewares, a lot of random stuff. Good. I love ephemera, some books.
We sold some wooden bowls and shoes.
We've been selling those wooden bowls. We had like a whole table lot of wooden bowls, which sounds like the most boring thing ever.
Hand-carved wooden bowls.
But they're hand-carved, and a lot of them, some of them are antique, which people definitely look for, and some of them are vintage.
And it's because people are doing...
baking,
home decorating,
and home decorating, all those things.
I think they put a bowl.
Are huge right now.
They put a bowl on the table, and then they put wax apples in it.
Hey, I have a bunch of fake pears I'm selling too that people are watching. So.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
We didn't do much, really, any scavenging this week because we're really just trying to catch up.
Yeah.
With I've been hitting a bunch of auctions during this.
I have
pandemic.
so many. I even saw more boxes in the back that I hadn't seen before.
Right. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, that's why I'm like, when people come on the forum and they're really into scavenging, and I get it. It's so exciting. Like,
you gotta list.
You're just like, there's this auction every single week, and I can go there and get like a carload or truckload of stuff for like $100. It's so exciting.
Yeah.
But like, I think I went to 4 auctions.
Yeah.
And I got a truckload of stuff each time. We're just full.
I have like
I could go every single week, and but we just we just learned like it's just not productive.
Well, look, now I have a helper, and I didn't have a helper basically the whole time we were having auction buying. So hopefully that's going to help. It's going to speed up.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll have time to list stuff.
And even if our little building back there, 40 by 24, it's not small. Even if that was completely empty and we could just put like inventory we were buying, and we didn't have to put like stuff we have up on eBay, it wouldn't be smart to fill that thing up with just stuff we're buying. I mean,
you gotta sell it.
Right.
I mean, I don't know what you're getting at here. You gotta like put it online so people buy it.
I'll tell you what I'm getting at. Because I think that there's an argument of just like unsold stuff is okay. That it's okay because you're building up a cache of stuff for later. Yeah. But I just feel like I think for us it's a balance between space, like our mental health. Yeah. Like having too much stuff that's just backed up isn't good. Yep.
Agreed. Okay. No death piles.
Everyone's bored by this conversation. Okay, things we learned in the forum. I can always tell when she's like, yeah, whatever. Things we learned in the forum. So someone was asking about this person found like a ring on the ground, like a gold ring.
Gold and diamond,
with the diamond, and says like it was $14,000. And she was like, where do I sell this thing? And I was like, well, why don't you just sell it on eBay? Because
weigh it. And
I sent a sold page. Yeah. To like all the gold and silver and diamonds that are being sold, and people do it every day, thousands of dollars. And her concern was, well, I've heard, horror stories about like selling stuff online. I don't know. Do you think it's safe to sell gold and silver?
Well, how much would that be worth, do you think, the ring that did she show a picture?
She doesn't even know. I mean, and so she's like asking,
I think she said it was damaged too. Yeah. Like a car had run over it. Right. Which would bring the value down significantly, but
so
maybe not.
2 questions to you, Ryan. How would you figure out how much something like that costs?
I'd weigh it and see how much gold is worth. Got it. And then it depends on how big the diamond is. I mean, some diamonds like are teeny tiny, right. And you're like, that's not worth very much.
Would you take it to a diamond place, like a jeweler?
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea to bring it to a jeweler and maybe first see if they want to buy it and see how much, because we've done that before with gold and silver that we found, where we're like, what's this worth? What would you buy it for? And then we're like, okay, let's go research it then and see if we want to sell it to them.
I mean, I guess my answer is just, if you try and sell it to a pawn shop or a jewelry shop,
it's going to be less than what you can make retail. They're going to
give you a much smaller
They're going to give you
amount.
like a wholesale price, obviously, because they need to resell it.
Right.
I wouldn't be afraid. I don't know, actually. Yeah, I mean, look, I sold a piece of artwork for $1,200 and shipped it across the country, and it was fine. It was a piece of paper.
I'm going to give the right answer. It's fine to sell on eBay. I mean, I think people, if you're used to selling things for like $30, like you're selling clothes.
Sure, it's scary.
When someone says, this is a $500 ring.
Right, or $1,000 ring.
You're just like,
I can't put that through the mail.
How could anyone buy this?
So here's what you do. For high dollar items, ship it priority with tracking and put insurance on it, and have a signature. Right. Add all those costs into your shipping so that you're feeling better. I mean, that's what I would do.
Yeah, and then I guess just what happens is, and I get it, you're like, well, what happens if someone gets it?
And they want to return it.
Switch it with a fake ring.
Yeah, but this ring is...
send it back
Well, this ring is pretty. I mean, rings and jewelry are pretty distinct, unless it's like a mass-produced Tiffany or something.
It just gets tough, like when.
But yeah,
when our, your suspicious mind starts working. What if?
Well, what's funny is that
one time I heard this person.
Well, what's funny about that argument is it's not just for diamonds and gold. Like, if you talk to just regular people who don't sell on eBay, they're like, everyone's gonna scam you. If you sell an iPhone or if you sell like an old dishwasher, you're just like, well, then I might as well not sell anything.
Right.
So to me, it's not a worthy argument.
Right.
You might get scammed.
Right.
Well, no kidding.
And we say, with things like when we sell, like, I just bought a new iPhone, or not a new one, but
a used new
iPhone 7.
New to you.
And we sold my old one.
Right.
And it sold almost immediately.
Yeah,
it sold within a week. But, we've said before, when we sell these electronics, it's more problematic because it attracts a certain kind of buyer. And we've just learned the best way to sell. No make offer.
Do not have make
immediately,
offer. I just sold an electronic, it was a tablet, a Samsung tablet that I had got in a lot. And it worked, and I actually changed out the screen because it was cracked, did it all myself. And then this person was just like, I bought this by accident. Yeah. I'm like, why did I have an offer? I should have. Why didn't I follow my own advice?
You broke your own rules.
I know. What was I thinking?
So, I mean, we know someone who sells gold scrap quite often on eBay. And, I mean, I've never heard, I guess I could ask him, and he'll sell for several $1,000s because he'll, gather all the gold scrap over time. Yeah, he'll put it on a scale and it's like, here's half a pound of gold. Yeah. And then people bid it up and then people buy it and because they're getting ready for the apocalypse when gold will be the only thing valuable.
Melt down gold for your teeth.
So that's my answer.
That's my answer for
do you
everything.
Like that answer?
Yeah, I agree with that answer.
Okay, let's go to the comments or questions that people sent in this week.
Okay, you can email us a question. You can record an audio file on your phone and email it to us. Our email is thescavengerlife@gmail.com. Or you can call our voicemail line and leave a message. The phone number is 540-407-8486.
Hey, Jay and Ryan. Neil here, calling from a beautiful city in Western Canada. I just wanted to share some thoughts on the topic of selling more expensive items in your store. And I've been thinking about that and thinking about my experience with eBay, and I've decided that it's less about just deciding to sell more expensive items, and it's more about the process of specialization. And I really think that you need to become a specialist in any given field to sell more expensive items in your store. When you're a general practitioner, you'll see everyone. Come on in. I treat everyone the same. When you're a nephrologist, you see a very select amount of people, and you know very much about what each person is dealing with, and you'll typically charge them more for your level of knowledge. But the only way to acquire that knowledge is to become a very in-depth specialist in a field. And I think the same applies to eBay. And if you're selling car parts, you need to know makes and models, and you need to know how they work, and you need to know how to fix them, and you need to know what each part does, and you need to know whether each part works. And the only way to do that is to work on those cars and fix them and get them working again and become such a passionate expert on the subject that you can quickly and easily identify the value of any car or model or part that you see. Same applies to enterprise networking. You'll know each model. You'll know the specifics of each type of software integration or licensing fee associated with every brand. And you will just know because you've done so much work with those specific items. And I found that's the exact same for me as I run an eBay store, is that I become a specialist in complicated affairs of machinery. And when I do that, I gain the knowledge required to specialize in specific things. And then I find out that I can sell more expensive things in my store. And that's the only way that I've been able to do that, is by being passionate and learning about those things. But you know what? I think you guys have a ton on your plate, and I don't know if you have the time to become a specialist in 1996 Ford Mustangs, I think being a general practitioner on eBay allows you to generate income that you pour into things you're actually passionate about, like coffee or rental properties or other things that add meaning to your life. So that's kind of my perspective. I think that the only way to sell more expensive items is to specialize. And so that really changes the way you look at eBay. So those are my thoughts. Hopefully they're interesting. See ya.
Okay, this is probably one of the most perceptive calls we've gotten in a long time. And I guess I kind of knew this already, but he really put it in a way that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So I'm always like, for 3-4 years now, I'm like, let's change our business model. I just want to sell stuff that sells for $1,000. How do I do this? And that makes a lot of sense. We would have to totally change our business model and focus on one thing.
Right. Or two things.
Like artwork. Like I'm going to become the expert in, 19th century pastoral oil art, and that's all I'm going to buy. It's all I'm going to look for. I will know the market. I'll be able to tell if something's real or fake. I'll know what the right price is, and I'll know that that group of people that buy that stuff. And I've heard that before, where people, they just sell like vintage Saab parts, and they're just like, I bought a bunch of Saabs and now I just part it out, and then everyone buys that stuff from me.
Well, I think we're enough of a general practitioner, a generalist, where we know enough about all those things to make enough money.
Right.
Like, I know enough about wooden bowls and china and like vintage clothing to sell all those things at a good price.
Right.
I don't not know nothing, but
Sure.
I'm not an expert in every single one. I'm like right in the middle enough to make the highest price that I know how.
Right. But his point is, if we want to only sell things for $1,000, we would have to become specialists.
Right.
So we would be able to find those things,
like only look for those
and only be able to find those things. It's just like the guy that sells the gold coins. He's a specialist in gold coins. He sits on eBay.
Yes.
I don't know if he still does. I don't know if he hears this anymore. And he would, just troll eBay auctions and look for people who are underselling their gold coins. But he knows enough to know that some coin is worth X amount of dollars, and that it's.
And
worth
he knows it
yeah.
quickly.
So that's good. And he's right. I mean, I don't have any particular passion in any particular thing to like just focus on artwork or gold or car parts. I like being a generalist because our passion is other things, like he said. I like working on old buildings. I like so far working on this coffee shop. That's the exciting thing in our day. And this stuff is just kind of like shove it in the pipe. Yeah. Money comes out. Like, just get it.
I mean,
and every so often something might sell for $1,000, but I can't do that every week.
But the things we do buy to sell, we are interested in them. It's not like I'm just selling widgets. Like, I do have to be interested in what I'm selling, just to clarify, as everybody knows. Because then I'll be really bored.
Yeah.
If we're not buying the things that, I mean, most of the things we buy, I'm like, oh, I would use that. I have like 5 of them already, so I don't really need them. But it's sort of understanding those markets. There is a passion in that. But if I didn't have to sell on eBay, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
If I could just do everything else with like a lottery winnings, sure, I would do that.
Hi guys, it's Keith from Vintage Classics in Western Mass. I'm calling about the last podcast that you posted on Sunday the 16th. You wanted to call about managed payments. So I've been in the managed payments program since it first started. Yes, PayPal is accepted. There was obviously some bumps along the road when it first started. I think I signed up the first week. I actually did by accident. I woke up in the middle of the night, saw an email from eBay, and for some reason I just hit accept, and I was into the managed payments program. So for a while, I couldn't ship overseas. Now we can ship overseas. The biggest thing is, up until a month ago, once I got that message from eBay saying that payment is going to be reimbursed to my account, or not reimbursed, but into my account. Let me see what the message says. We've sent your payout. I would get the payment in my account 2 business days after I got that message from eBay. But now I get that, and I would get that message at noon from eBay, and the following day I would get that money in the next business day. Now it's the same business day. So I'll get that, we'll set your payout. I usually get around 8 a.m. or 7:30 a.m. And then that money will hit my account at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So the payment is actually the same. I'll get the money in my account the same day. Now, I don't track it because I do a decent amount on eBay. I don't know what that money was from for the listing, for the payment. But once I get that message, your payment is on the way, I get that money in my account the same day and that afternoon. All right, hopefully helps. If you have any questions, ask away. I have a question for you guys. When you guys can send offers, do you just do the 5% and make a counter offer, allow the buyers to make a counter offer? How do you do that? Do you do the least you'll get or the least you want to sell it for? If you could answer that, that'd be great. All right. Thanks for all you do. Keep safe. Thanks. Bye.
Okay, so question answered first. So right now, because it's summer, our entire store is on sale already. So yeah, I do the 5% send offer. That's the lowest you can do. So I do 5%, and then in my message, I paste a message in saying, hey, my entire store is already 20% off, plus this discount. And I say, we love counter offers, because I allow people to, because I'm like, yeah, there's some things where I will take a counter offers, lower things, probably not. But I basically am just like, let's do a deal. We want to sell. I send offers all day long. I have that link bookmarked at the top of like 3 different browsers. So it doesn't matter what browser I'm on. If I'm on my phone, I send offers all day. Yeah. Why not?
Yep.
So,
and then otherwise it's interesting hearing his experience with managed payments. I mean, we're definitely not getting payments the same day, but because once those payments start, it seems like every business day we're getting it when, but that might be from 4 business days ago. On weekends, we don't get payouts because I guess it's so weird, the American banking system.
Yeah, you're like, it's banks, electronic.
Banks don't stop. Like, it's all, I don't know. It's weird how that happens. And I guess PayPal works. I don't really...
Yes, I have been, so as we said earlier, I've been buying a bunch of stuff for the coffee shop on eBay, and for our rentals just normally, and I make PayPal my payment, and it just grabs stuff directly out of my bank account, which is actually kind of nice. Yeah. Like, just pay for stuff.
Yeah, it's
a pass-through.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just another way to get paid, so love it, hate it. It's just... we just have to adapt.
Now you sound like me 10 minutes ago.
What?
I'm like, that's just what it is. Yeah, moving on.
It's true.
It's like,
it's just what it is.
That's how you get paid.
Here we are.
It works. Our money's in our account, like you said. It sounds like if you've been in managed payments a long time, maybe they are doing that. It's almost like an instant transfer. It's getting quicker. So that's super helpful.
Hello, this is Reseller X. My question is, at any point when you're putting this coffee shop together, did you ever consider bringing some of your merch over and making it into a coffee shop / boutique? Thank you very much for all you do every week. So long. This is Reseller Mr. X.
Nope. We that's not kind of our thing. People have asked us that before, like in our rentals, like put art on the wall and put little knickknacks around and put price tags on them. It just, to me, it just feels really cheap and tacky and different from what we're trying to do. And so I want people to come in and enjoy coffee shop and not necessarily, and it's not a big place too, so
yeah,
it'd be different if we had like a giant 10,000 foot space.
I just don't want a brick and mortar store. Like,
right.
I just never cared about that.
Right.
I mean, people have asked that about our Airbnb rentals, where we would have price tags on the artwork or the furniture or something, but I also, anytime I've been to an Airbnb or a B&B that did that, I just thought it was tacky. I'm just like, this is not a store. It's like a place for me to stay.
If someone does that right now, that's fine. It's just a choice.
Do it if it makes sense for you.
But, like for me, I'm like, so then you have to teach the people behind the counter. If someone wants to buy this like wooden bowl, then you have to like ring it up differently. And I don't know.
It's just a different store. Yeah. Look, if I want to have a brick and mortar store, I'll just do it in another spot.
Yeah.
Hi, Ryan and Jay. It's Kenny from St. Louis, and I was calling in to give you a tip and to ask a question. First question, I haven't done managed payments yet, so I'm still doing the old system with PayPal. And I was just curious if you guys have ran into a return yet, or what they're going to do about returns. I'm assuming they're going to do it just like PayPal would. If you don't have the amount in your balance, that they're going to remove it from your bank account. But I didn't know if you had that yet, or if you know what the general plan is if you get a large return. And a tip, you were talking last week about the cheaters, and I'm getting to the age where I'm starting to think about buying some, but something that I do when I run into something that I can't see real well, or I need to zoom up, you've got a good pair of cheaters in your pocket with your phone. I used to take loops with me everywhere and use a loops to look at things up close, and after a while, when I'd forget my loop, I started realizing that a phone was just as good. And now I don't even have a loop in my toolbox because my phone does 8 times magnification up close and in low light conditions better than a loop. So I just pull out my phone, zoom in, and it also works good for menus and restaurants and stuff like that when you can't see it. So anyways, love the show. Thanks for all you do.
I think we got like 5 emails from people that are like, just use your phone.
I mean, it's dumb. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I never thought about that. Yeah, I could totally just have taken out my phone, taken, like there's little writing on the back of a cup or something, and just zoom it in, and I could read it.
I didn't even think of that
I
either.
didn't think about that. Smart.
Yeah. For returns and managed payments, this is I haven't gotten a return yet, thank goodness. But this is how I think they'll do it is, say the return's like $15. They're just going to take it out of your next payout. They'll just say minus 15.
Yeah.
That's my assumption.
Yeah.
So there's lots of people who have had returns and managed payments, so I'm sure they'll tell us if that's the case.
So a couple things before we end. I do want to say, if there's anyone out there that works with servers, computer servers, our forum is currently on like a server, and we were thinking about moving it over, but we need help with that. So if someone does that for a living or knows how to do it and wants to make some extra money, just email us off of our blog. I'd just love to talk to you.
Yeah.
I mean, you, Ryan, know enough about that to have kept things going, and you can do some stuff, but there's some stuff it's more than we know how.
Well, we pay someone to host our site, and we pay them for maintenance, right, and questions.
But we're just not so happy with where we're at right now, and we just want to make sure our website and its forum is better than it is now. So we're looking for someone that knows this stuff. I'm sure it's like super easy stuff for someone that knows how to do server work. And if you would like some coffee that we talk about, you can go to broadporch.coffee and
order some coffee. We ship it to order.
It always surprises Phil because normally a lot of his orders are from the local region. Yeah. So when he gets one from California or Michigan or New York, he's always surprised.
I went over to his roaster, his small roaster, and I saw his list of orders, and I was like, I know that person. Oh, they must have heard it on the podcast. It was really funny.
Yeah. What's your favorite coffee right now, you think?
Let's see. Well, because I've been tasting the new stuff that we haven't bought yet.
You guys are doing tastings.
We're doing samples
of what he's going to buy.
So I'm like, well, my favorite's that stuff because it's new and exciting, and I help pick it out. Yeah. So that's my answer. I will say the Costa Rican is really good.
Yep, it's very chocolatey.
The Guatemalan is really good.
Yeah.
Brazil is we've been drinking Brazil for 3 weeks now. Yep. So I say anything's good.
Yummy.
Yeah.
Okay, this podcast is ending in
3, 2, 1. Bite.